Hi guys, welcome. Previously, I explained the movie Grave Encounters in my channel, and you guys showed immense, incredible love to the video. Whatever, never mind. I promise that I will bring the next part very soon. So, here it is. Today, I am gonna explain the sequel of Grave Encounters. Before I start interpreting, I must let you know that Grave Encounters and Grave Encounters 2 are interrelated and combined. Especially, the sequel is dependent on its antecedent. So I recommend, unless you watched the first part, go for it, otherwise the second part might not be intelligible to you. In Grave Encounters Part 1, we witnessed only Lance remained alive among his crew. The show producer Jerry Hartfield stated the viewers that the exhibited footage discovered in 2010 by the Grave Encounters crew in Collingwood Psychiatric Hospital filmed by themselves. But in the beginning of the movie, we saw that the producer altered his statement. He claimed Grave Encounters is simply a movie and all the incidents were fake and unreal. He released a movie by consolidating all the footages and became the owner of massive popularity. Multiple YouTubers were reviewing and giving their opinion about the movie, just like I'm doing right now, as the film was super famous. Among those reviewers, one YouTuber named Alex rated the movie with 1 star because, according to his thought, the movie was like trash. Alex aspired to be a big renowned filmmaker and wanted to reinvent horror genre. One day, when he was checking the comments of his Grave Encounters review, he received a video response from an ID, Death Awaits. In the video, he saw the lone survivor Lance in miserable condition. After watching the video, he felt that Grave Encounters might not be a movie, but an authentic real-life footage, and he began looking into the matter. Alex showed the video to his friends, even tried to reach the cast of the film through his YouTube channel. By the time he got another message from the same ID mentioned earlier, where a photo of Lance and a phone number below the photo were there. Alex visited Lance's mom through the number and found that the aged woman suffering from dementia, in other words, insanity. And she had no idea that her child might be dead. But Alex didn't give up. He met the producer of Grave Encounters, Jerry Hartfield, by fabricating a fake ID of a production assistant. Somehow, he arranged a meeting with him next day. But Jerry inhibited him to bring any cameras or kinds of similar thing. Despite forbidden, he used a hidden camera and aimed to know that the film was actually a real-life incident. But because his company could be dissolved due to the considerable amount of death of people, he compiled all the footages, made a movie, and claimed it fake. Means the movie we the viewers watched was a true event, and the footages were all real. Alex recorded all of his words and showed it to his friends. Afterwards, they decided to go to Canada and meet the person in the incendiarium holding the ID Death Awaits. They intended to spend the night inside the asylum and capture real-life footage so they could make a brilliant movie. How admirable! We stay away from ghosts, but they wanted to go to the vicinity of the devil. As planned, they reached the Collingwood Psychiatric Hospital. They got themselves inside the Hell Asylum by evading the janitor site at night. Like the previous crew, they installed night vision cameras in different areas. They applied glow sticks on their ways so they don't get lost. And everyone kept an air horn so that if anybody gets separated, they could call the person by blowing it. The crew had high-tech thermal imaging cameras that could be proven helpful to locate nether people with body heat. They were waiting for the person death awaits in a room. They came across an Ouija board. If you and I found an Ouija board in a 4-second asylum, we would run away. But what these guys will do? They will try to invoke the spirits. Well, they say it right. Fools rush in where angels fear to tread. Alex, through the Ouija board, asked the name of the spirit. The spirit told its name, Death Awaits, through the board. It was clear that Death Awaits wasn't any person, but a malevolent spirit who contrived to bring these people inside the insanitarium through internet. It didn't take too long for the Ouija board, the table, and the chairs moving on its own in the air. Having heard the ruckus, the security guard came in, confronted the intruders, and went upstairs. The crew waited for the guard to return, but they heard some gunshots. When the crew went upstairs looking for him, they didn't find him anywhere, like he mysteriously disappeared. The team began believing that there really is something inside the Bobby hatch. They started packing their equipments to get out of there. When Alex's friend Jerry went to a room to take the cameras, a window opened all by itself and something invisible dragged him out of another window. When the remaining crew saw the terrible footage of him, they got terrified and tried to escape from the Hell Asylum by following the glow sticks. They reached the entrance, but there was a wall instead of the door, implying the demonized asylum couldn't let anybody go outside, like the first film. Either they had to sacrifice their lives or let themselves be operated by Dr. Arthur Fredkin. The crew was wandering inside the hospital wherever their sight drew them. Meantime, they descried a woman combing her hair on a bed. With curiosity, they got closer to her, and seconds later, her face transformed into a devilish form. The crew ran for their lives, but the diabolic women pursued them. During the haphazard run-in, a woman named Tisa got disengaged from them. Later, an invisible force killed her. Remaining members of the crew unexpectedly found a room where they saw the guard laying on a stretcher tied up, and he was being electrocuted. They tried to save him, but the electric shock escalated into burning his body, and he died there. They departed from the room, and by cutting a window, they tried to get outside. Then a demon, by breaking the window, attacked a guy named Trevor. Trevor somehow managed to escape from his grip and reach the front door with the crew, and they all were able to get out of the building, and the pursuing demon exploded on its own. The crew, having reached their hotel, packed their baggages and stuffs and used an elevator to go out. When the door opened, they found themselves before the tunnel of Hollywood Psychiatric Hospital. Means they never fled away from the hospital, but the malicious spirits were manipulating their minds to frighten them more. While walking in the tunnel, they found the tunnel covered with smoke, and a man approaching them from the smoke. It was none other than Lance Preston, and his visage was completely changed for the worse. Lance had been enclosed inside the hospital for 9 years, and the evil spirits still didn't let him go outside. Within these 9 years, Lance discovered numerous things about the institution. Even he created a map of the hospital. He figured out exactly when and which walls are shifted. He stated that the hospital is more larger than a town. He further added that he opened every door of that asylum, but there is a chained red door that he was unable to open. Alex said that they had a chain cutter in their equipments, and with the help of it, they could open the door. But their instruments were left in a different room. They all proceeded to the room where the implements were with Lance. By the time they thought to take a repose, when awakened, Trevor went to a washroom where Lance attacked him and killed him. While strangling him, he apologized continuously by saying that he was intimidated by the demonic spirits to do that. Afterwards, Lance stole their instrument and fled from the spot. When the remaining crew awakened, they found Trevor's cadaver and realized it was Lance who perpetrated that job. Fortunately, Lance left his map there, and they tried to find the red door. On the other side, Lance got out of the red door by cutting the chain, but there was no salvation against the door. Lance turned berserk and started communicating with the spirits aloud. He said that he had done everything that he had been ordered to, and why he wasn't liberated. Then some writings appeared on the wall on its own that depicted he had to collect those videotapes so he could complete the movie. Other side, the crew, having followed the map, reached the surgical ward where Dr. Arthur Fredkin used to exercise lethal experiments on his patients. As they entered, they witnessed the books of black magic, photos of satanic rituals, and items of devilry. Moments later, they described the doctor performing operation with nurses, and at the end of the operation, he sacrificed a little baby and tried to do some black magic on the patient with the baby's blood. Having seen the relentless activity, Alex and his friends were terrified to the bone. After one nurse saw them, they all escaped from the room, and by the time the wall shifted. As the result, Alex, including his friend, reached the room where the red door was. They saw Lance laughing like a deranged person, and the cameras were levitating right behind him, like the spirits were recording something. Lance told only one person could get out from there, and the person must have all the tapes. Lance asked for the tapes from Alex. For his refusal, he attacked Alex. Alex's friend Jennifer also bashed Lance while they were fighting. Meantime, a portal was opened from a wall where a strong gust of wind was blowing that dragged Lance behind into it. Nobody knows where the portal led him, but we never saw Lance afterwards. Only Alex and Jennifer were alive then. Alex solved the mystery of the hospital. Actually, the spirit summoned him here so Alex could record the occurrence and make a movie, and he could release the movie by claiming fake. A lot of people would watch the movie, and some of them might try the phenomena by getting inside the hospital, and Dr. Arthur Fredkin would have some people to experiment on. In short, the demonized asylum required more visitors so the doctor could continue his experiments. But only one problem was there. Jennifer was still alive. The asylum would allow only one person to get out. That's why Alex killed Jennifer by smashing her face with a camera. After he slaughtered her, he said to the camera that he would follow the spirit's word and make the movie, so the viewers would be the victim of the satanic spirits. Hereafter, Alex opened the red door and found himself in a field. The door vanished all by itself, and Alex tasted the ultimate freedom. He rushed to the Grave Encounters TV producer Jerry Hartfield and handed over the tapes. Jerry made the movie and ensured the audience with Alex that everything was fake and unreal, and nothing such happened in that hospital. But you and I know that everything was real events, and whosoever visits the Insanitarium, Dr. Arthur Fredkin will perform deadly experiment on him. Well, the movie is ended here. but we saw a number like this on the screen just for a second: 49, 14, 12248. If you care to Google the number, you will see Riverview Hospital where the entire movie was shot. So, it was the story of Grave Encounters Part 2. Talking about recommendation, I liked the film too much and I suggest you to watch the both parts. And I can only hope that you like this video. So, that's all for today. Thank you.